Les here, and welcome to day 30 of SHOCKTOBERFEST 2021. Almost there, folks. It's been a thrill ride, hasn't it? Well, today and probably tomorrow, we're going to be doing something a little more lighthearted, a little more family-friendly, because I figured have a little fun with, especially with some of the ones we've had in the past few days, right? In the past few weeks. We've had some good ones, we've had some doozies. But let's end on a high note. Today, we're going to be talking about Fred Decker's 1987 family-friendly film, The Monster Squad. This one, it has a very special place in my heart because you have the concept of some of the original Universal monsters mixed in with a family-friendly matter of, just of how evil can be, disposed of. So, let's get to it. So the beginning of the film starts off 100 years in the past, where Van Helsing is trying to dispose of the evil of Dracula, and he needs his book with some German incantations, he needs an amulet, and a virgin to read the incantations to dispel the evil. Unfortunately, things do not go too well to plan. Fast forward 100 years later, Dracula is still trying to get his minions to take over the earth. And he does so by help of some of those Universal monsters. We have the Gill-Man, we have the Mummy, and the Wolfman, and Frankenstein. However, Frankenstein, much to his chagrin, does not really want to listen to Dracula. So he runs off and does his own thing. Meanwhile, we have a group of kids known as the Monster Squad. We have Sean, we have Horace, we have Patrick, and we have Eugene. 4 young boys who are big into horror films, big into horror in general, and, they have one little problem right now. Sean's little sister Phoebe wants to be a part of the group, but they're acting like it's a big boys club, she can't be a part of it, and she gets pretty upset about that. Meanwhile, she meets Frankenstein, befriends him, and then the boys are like, whoa, that's weird. Okay, I guess you could be in the group now because you've got Frankenstein. Van Helsing's diary. All written in German and can't be translated unless they have someone who speaks German. Well, guess what? There is someone that can read German. We've got a neighbor down the street known as Scary German Guy. But the fact of the matter is, he's not really a scary German guy. He is German, but the reason why he's considered scary is just because he keeps to himself. We find out later he was a survivor of the Holocaust. So what he dealt with was scary, but in general he's actually a good man. He also teaches Phoebe the ways of how to use the amulet and to decipher the incantations from the book. Now, while that's going on, the boys have to deal with Dracula and his minions, and Frankenstein is doing his best to help them out. They also befriend a guy named Rudy, who's kind of the punk, kind of the rebel of the group now, and he's kind of that young teenage boy that's has girls on his mind and is always peeking through girls' windows. They do have one of the boys' sisters come along that was taking German, try to read the book, and unfortunately, they say that you need a virgin. Well, it turns out she wasn't a virgin after all, so oopsie. That's why they get Phoebe in on this to help out, because when they said they needed a virgin to read the incantations, they didn't say what type of virgin or how old the virgin had to be. So, hey, plot hole. Not necessarily a bad plot hole, but hey, it's one of those good things where it's like movie magic. So, there's that. Eventually, the boys are able to dispose of Dracula's minions and also open up a portal to send Dracula back to a dimension of hell, where Van Helsing comes out of the portal and is able to keep Dracula contained for, let's hope, more than just another 100 years. So that's the Monster Squad in a nutshell. Yeah, there is a lot of things I probably left out. However, this is a movie from the 80s, so as always, go to your local video store and rent yourself a copy. Now it's time to talk about the things I like and what I don't like about the film. Now, when it's something along the lines of bad or something I don't like, this is the one thing that I don't like about the film. Not necessarily the film itself, but what people have said about the film. They say that the movie is so bad it's good. Bullshit. The movie is good. There are some moments that's corny and a little bit hokey and a little blah, but keep in mind, this is a family film. Yeah, there are some tongue-in-cheek jokes, a little bit of toilet humor, especially for children. But you want to know something? It's a classic. Yeah, did it get some good reviews when it first came out? Not really, but you know what? It's a cult classic. And you know what? Anything that's a cult classic usually means there's some merit to it. Unlike The Room, maybe, but we're not talking about that movie right now. Not yet, but one day. One thing that I heard about was that in 2008, Platinum Dunes was planning on doing a remake of this film, but it eventually got canceled. Thank God, because we all know what Platinum Dunes has done to other movies in a reboot. Let's talk about some things that I do like about the film. I mentioned about the tongue-in-cheek humor, especially in one scene in particular, and anybody that has seen the Monster Squad probably knows what I'm talking about. In the moment when the Wolfman is chasing the boys, they're yelling at kick him in the nards! The Wolfman doesn't have nards, and he kicks him in the nards.
You avenge.
There's a t-shirt that I do need to buy at some point where it just says, Wolfman's got nards. It's a really iconic scene just because watching a Universal horror monster get sent to Kick City, pretty hilarious. Another thing I like about this film is some of the cast members. They've had really decent careers at their time. I mean, there are some names in this movie that didn't really do a whole lot afterwards, but some did. I mean, there is Duncan Rieger that played Dracula. He's been in quite a number of other films. Be sure they'll leave a link to his career in the description in this video. Also, one of the bullies in the movie is played by Jason Hervey. Most people know him as the older brother in The Wonder Years. And he's also been in movies like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and he usually plays a snotty kid. So you know what? We'll just leave it at that. Two other well-known actors at the time. We have the late Mary Ellen Trainor, who is known as Mikey's mom in The Goonies. And we also have Leonardo Cimino. This guy plays the scary German guy, but however, for all you 80s pop culture fanatics out there, he was in the miniseries V in the early 80s, so yeah, and in that one he even played a Holocaust survivor, which in real life, Leonardo Cimino was a Holocaust survivor, so that being used in a lot of his characters in movies definitely helped with his career because he was able to use his experience in the performance of his characters. So in a sense, those characters were real. So, you know, I mean, as weird as it sounds, you know, it's noble that he was able to do that for art's sake. With all that being said, it's time to grade this film. Now, I'm going to try to not be biased on this one. Like I said, there are some things that, I mean, there are some things in the movie that I would say there are moments where the movie does tend to drag a little bit. There are some moments where you kind of already know what's going to happen. Where they talk about the virgin situation, where the sister ends up not being, like the teenage sister's not a virgin, and you know it's like, oh wow, we should have seen that one coming, because if we didn't see that, you know, why didn't we see that coming? Because if they were giving the book to the little girl to learn things, we should have figured that out. So that's kind of a dumb part on, that's a dumb part on my part, but at the same time, you know, why did they put that in there in the first place? Like I said, time to grade this. I'm going to go ahead and give this one a B+. I mean, I would give it an A-, but that would make me being a little bit biased. So I'm going to give it a B+ at best, just to be nice. Or not to be nice, to be unbiased. So I'm sure there are going to be people that are going to give me some crap for that, and I totally understand. And I stand by my decision. So, other than that, we hope you enjoyed this quick review. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs down if you didn't agree with the things that I said in this review. Also, be sure that you share on social media, but most importantly, push that little red button, and don't forget to ring the bell for instant notifications on Dragonfire Entertainment. One more to go, folks. It's been intense. But we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow. I really think so. I'm sure you will, too. In the meantime, I'm Wildman Wes. And we will see you tomorrow for day 31 of SHOCKTOBERFEST 2021. Stay tuned and stay scared.